We started to cook. We were talking, drinking, we were having fun. Take the glasses and look what I have.
Oh, Lord.
I know he's very passionate about that bourbon.
That is the most glorious bourbon on the face of the planet.
We went to have our little glass of papi on the side.
Cheers.
By the time we were drunk, the stew was cooked and ready. Came back, drank a little bit more.
I'd recommend this with like a Vino Verde or a beer, a cold beer.
You know what? It's fucking good.
This is a delicious dish.
It's great. Let's talk about good and evil. That was your idea, to bring me on the road with you. You tried to make me look evil.
Well, it's an irresistible impulse. I'm supposed to be the prick on Top Chef. He's the one sending home that sweet, lovable Tiffany Derry for no good reason that I could see. It's like this, Eric. You're an old man now. You've lived a life. You've done many things, and you have stories to tell. So now you are up there on stage telling stories, and incredibly enough, you deliver a good dick joke.
Talk about it for a long time. So, No Reservation is finished. Why did you decide to go from a network that gave you a lot of freedom, suddenly you end up on CNN?
Our show airs here, and then over the course of a few years, the program is bought by networks all around the world. Eventually, it's seen everywhere in the world, but
Your show is
years later.
Already is
I like very much. It's very just personally satisfying to me is if we shoot a show in Malaysia, I like hearing back later from Malaysia and saying, hey, it's awesome that you found exactly the right locks-up place. I like to hear that we got it right in a country from the people who actually live there. This is really my only agenda. Who are these people? What do they eat? What do they like at the table? That's it. That's really as far as I want to go. CNN will mean that instead of waiting, we will simultaneously be seen all over the world. But most importantly, they are a worldwide news gathering operation. I am not a news gatherer, I'm not a reporter, I'm not a journalist. There are places in this world that we haven't been able to shoot because the infrastructure wasn't there. Libya, Gaza, West Bank.
You want to go to Gaza?
Yeah.
To the Gaza Strip?
Those places have been difficult. Before a tragedy occurs, as they always do in a faraway place, before we read about a disaster, it is useful to have seen something about who these people are and how they live.
ABC, Nigella, a show.
I can tell you that the set looks like, you know, at the end of the Bond film, it's like the giant secret lab, you know, with a tractor beam, right? It's like that. It's going to be a big, primetime, competitive cooking thing. I happen to think Nigella Lawson is strange and fabulous. And I think it could be not the two people you would imagine together in the same room.
She's definitely more sexy than you are.
I think we'll be interesting and fun together on TV.
Chefs today are considered like almost like rock stars. Maybe 30 years ago in France, you couldn't be more blue collar than a chef.
It was like a manufacturing job.
And now, a lot of chefs became celebrity chefs.
But we know we're not rock stars. I mean, come on, if you could play guitar like Jimi Hendrix, would you be in a kitchen? Hell no. Chefs work all day from 9 o'clock in the morning doing the same thing again and again and again.
Yes.
Rock and roll stars, they maybe perform 2 to 3 hours a night, and the rest of the time they're sitting around getting high and being filleted. It's good, sure, but I mean...
They have to practice. They have to work, in my opinion.
If you trash your room at the Chateau Marmont, they're going to say, oh, it's just that crazy Eric again.
No, they're going to say
it's Tony.
It's Tony Bourdain who trashed his room again. Listen, cheers. Thanks so much for being in my kitchen.
Hey, it was my pleasure.
And cooking, actually, because I have rarely seen you cooking.
You know, we both have these dysfunctional, really busy lives where we don't have a lot of time to do presumably normal things. You know, Eric's a person who, if I'm traveling for 6 months and I don't see him, I don't have to explain. His life is nearly as fucked up as mine.
He's my best friend, and I think the fact that he travels so much give him a different perspective of life, and he thinks differently than he was thinking 20 years ago. He's a different man. Okay, Tony, thank you so much for coming and actually for cooking.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it very much too. We had a great time. I would be honored if you could sign.
It's pretty awesome.
No, the knife. We want to see the knife. The way you... Okay. That's it. That's the Bourdain signature. Okay, I do mine.
What the? Oh, it's cute. Bro hug, come on, bro hug.
Okay, fine. Let's get out of here.
Oh, you French guys.
So today, Tony was with me and it was a great pleasure. He's a friend of mine. I really wanted to catch a little bit of his real personality.
I don't meditate, I fester. I covered my shyness with a megalomania and exhibitionism. Some might even call it psychotic behavior.
I didn't expect Anthony to do some show-off kind of cooking.
This
over there.
amazing, murky bowl of stuff. It's forgivable to overcook.
I thought he would come and cook some meat, bistro-like kind of food. I have to say, I was delighted to see that he came with that octopus.
Man, I'm all about the bounty of the sea. As I have all throughout my career, I think today I benefited from low expectations.
He's a professional.
I'm not the Green Hornet, you know?
He has a lot of experience with interviews.
As an interview subject, I'm spoiled meat in a lot of ways.
And he has a way of expressing himself.
After a while, I mean, you know, you're asking if the prostitute loves you. She will never love you.
He has this certain perspective about life.
I do not need to be adored. I'd much rather be like Meyer Lansky famous. No one knows what I look like, but I'm definitely getting a reservation at a restaurant if I want one.
That makes him the irreplaceable Anthony Bourdain.
You know, Michael Corleone got it completely wrong. All business is personal. You know, Eric calls up and says, let's play. I play. There's certain people in your life who call you up 4 o'clock in the morning and say, meet me on the corner of Avenue D and 4th Street and bring a handgun and a stolen car, a tarpaulin and some duct tape. You don't ask why, you just go.
Sex,
They're sitting around getting high and being filleted.
drugs,
We were sort of ahead of the curve on the cocaine thing.
rock and roll,
If you could play guitar like Jimi Hendrix, would you be in a kitchen?
and food.
It's forgivable to overcook this.
Today my guest, Anthony Bourdain. And everything is on the table.
To quit your job and live the life you've always dreamed of?
You're really living the dream, I would imagine, the expat dream.
I feel more free here than I do in the States.
This is it, man. This is the life.
Join me, Savannah Jane Buffett, as I follow 2 buddies from college who quit their grueling office jobs and moved down to St. John to be bartenders in paradise. Now they're not just serving drinks, they've created the #1 microbrew in the Caribbean.
I looked out and there's about 30 cubicles. And at that moment, I said, I can't.
I knew I wanted to roll the dice and that I wanted to take a break from what I was doing. Nice place to live, don't you think?
Not bad.
It was a very surreal feeling because this is all new to me. This was going to be my new home. At that point, we knew we were all in.
They're the lucky guys, man. They make beer for a living on an island.
It's just 2 guys hanging out in the Caribbean and brewing some great beer and, you know, living the dream, I guess.